if I don't do good on this test, it's going to cause this chaos. It's like, I always tell even adults at any age, or young adults, I say, can you think of a time when you failed and you were like, felt like it could have been a test, it could have been anything, you didn't get into a team, and they'll tell me a time, and I'm like, what happened after that? Well, I was sad, or I got upset, and blah, blah, blah. It took me, a couple weeks to get over it, but you got over it. You're sitting here today.
Absolutely.
How many great things did you do since then? I've accomplished? Well, a lot. Okay. So it's just about like finding that, going backwards and saying, I've come from some really shitty circumstances, or I've come from some big mistakes and failures, and I've come out of it. So you've already proven it to yourself. I'm not proving it to you. You're saying it. So that's one thing is too, to remind them that you will fail, and you're going to fail again at something, and you will come out again, because that is who you are, and you are able to do that.
Absolutely. The failure is part of the process. I mean, and again, I'm like, define fail. Like, what does that even mean to you? Because it's like, they go, oh, but it's the end all be all. But I'm like, it's not. You cannot, even as athletes, I said, if you are going into anything afraid to fail, you will. You will, because you're operating from fear.
Based on fear.
And that's the thing.
Absolutely. So that's what you're going to get.
But that is the same thing what I'm saying about these parents. 99% of it is coming from fear. We are overcompensating because we fear. We are trying to pave the way or be a helicopter parent because we're scared of something. And that's where we have to check ourselves. What am I scared of? I'm scared they're going to end up in jail. Okay. So you're thinking you're going to do X, Y, and Z to prevent that? No, that's not going to work,
Absolutely.
Things like that. So most of it is based from fear. And we can't, like you said, we can't operate based off fear. We have to kind of step back from our emotions. This is where I always say the wise mind. Have you heard the wise mind's in the middle? So I've said this before. The left side, if you look at the little circles, it's the right side is, okay, emotion based. I'm thinking and making a decision based on my emotion, how I feel. Okay, that's good. The other side is basing it on logic, rationale. And then there's this little part in the middle, and it combines the both of them. Think about your logic a little bit, think about the rationale, but also taking account of some feelings. But there's somewhere in the middle, and that's the wise mind. And so that's where I tell people, you need to operate from there. It's okay to be a little bit emotional. You want some of that too. You want to be a human, right?
Absolutely.
But we also need to do some logic and rational thinking. So,
well, and again, you talk to them, they go, oh yeah, the readiness factor. I go, maybe it wasn't failure. Maybe you were not ready. Maybe you just weren't ready.
That's true.
That's what I say too. I said a lot of it too. I said, if you, whatever your higher power is, or your universe, or where you bow down to trees, I don't know, but maybe somebody or something was protecting you. Maybe it was a situation that you were going to go in, and because you weren't ready, there was going to be so much
it wasn't
more,
your time.
And it was not your time. It doesn't mean you have to hate that anymore or not think that that's going to happen.
Yep.
But
it just wasn't meant for you at that time. I know. And even that just made me think too, because of this whole 5-year thing. I was looking back on 5 years, and where I was is working for this, agency, this facility that I thought I was going to grow in. I thought that's where I was going to end up, and I'm just going to keep climbing the corporate ladder with them. And I kept getting roadblock and promised things, and it wasn't happening. And that's when, and then COVID hit, and I'm like, I guess I'm going to have to be on my own and do this on my own and open up my own place. And like I said last time, it wasn't in my plans to do that, but I was meant not to have that higher position at the facility I was at, because clearly if I would have done that, I would have kept going with them. I would have never had development at all.
Right.
So it wasn't meant for me. And even though at that time I was really upset, I was like, oh, I'm a failure, or I'm not good enough to be in this higher role. But clearly that wasn't the case. It was because, if you believe in God, I do. Yeah. It's like God knew there was something better for me out there. So
absolutely.